guys, welcome back to another video. So I did miss Saturday's video as I was still doing kind of convention prep, K-pop market prep up until Saturday, and then Saturday was the event. So I didn't have time to prep a video for that day. So I might do a bonus video this week to kind of make up for it. I'll talk a little bit more about that because like I don't really need to keep up with a schedule technically, but I like to keep myself kind of like to a schedule if I can so I don't fall behind on just like, I don't know, productivity I guess. But today is Monday. So we are doing a sketchbook video as usual. So let's go ahead and go to a new, I guess it's not really a new spread. So I did do a little bit of sketching earlier today. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of just take my time in real time and kind of just like spruce up these drawings to kind of like more of a finished degree in terms of like pencil rendering and stuff. So let's do that. I'm not too sure how well you guys can see the sketches. So on the left hand side I do have my OC Kaisen, and then on the right hand side I have kind of a smaller sketch of my OC Maseki. So what I wanted to do was just kind of like play around with concepts. I do have a series of portraits or drawings that I want to do of my OCs kind of relating to this kind of theme with a little bit more focus on like negative space and stuff. So it's something I would like to tackle. So material wise, we're just using a good old mechanical pencil. So let's go ahead and spruce up Kaisen first, and then we'll move on to Maseki after. So I have done this kind of particular pose or like composition technically for a few different drawings that I've done in the past, but I do like kind of more like that peaceful demeanor. I feel like all my nails are broken at the moment. But I want to kind of spruce everything up by making some things darker, having some cleaner lines here and there, but also just adding a lot of value. Kind of make them stand out from the rest of the page. I think I mentioned like throughout last week about a K-pop market tabling experience I was gonna have on, I guess like when you're watching this video would have been on Saturday, like the Saturday that just passed. So, which was the 29th. And to be honest, it was my first time going to a market for tabling. So I was having a hard time trying to think and prep for, I don't know, I guess like the scale of it alongside with like the particular audience or like the demographic, whatever you want to call it, 2 nights before the market, because I was thinking I might have over prepped and prepped too much like anime, kind of fan art-ish stuff more so than like K-pop fan art. So kind of had a mini breakdown at that point. But overall, it's such like a very fun experience, and luckily it is local for me. So it made it a little bit more easier for me to just feel a little less stress about the whole entire thing. The volunteers and like the staff or the people hosting, super sweet, super kind. And they made the process super easy. So I definitely would like to apply again, probably the next time they have another market of some sort. But talking more about the drawing. So because I haven't been drawing too much in general, I've obviously been neglecting my sketchbook as usual. It seems to be the current theme, especially for this year for me. I'm hoping to finish the sketchbook before my birthday because I do not want to exceed July, even though it will be another prep month because I have Anime Fun in Edmonton at, I think, the beginning of August. But for now, I just kind of want to sketch and more or less just want to work on traditional stuff at the moment. And this will give me a little bit more practice as well, since I want to do some commissions. And hopefully maybe next week on Monday, I will do a video talking about taking commissions at your table and like my experience with it alongside with doing kind of like a demo. Because that's like one thing I always had like a gripe with one of my commissioning experiences in the past. And I mentioned the story before of that a commission that me and my friend got of Haikyuu characters. looked vastly different from their samples, so it was a little bit disappointing. But understandable, since I believe we commissioned them technically on the last day. So I'm sure they took too many commissions and was not able to fulfill them all within the time requirement, because we had to pick ours up like after Artist Alley technically closed. But the K-pop market was actually super chill. Had quite a bit of traffic actually, which was kind of nice. But I was like fascinated by seeing everyone's like different setup, because it was more or less kind of like a good mixture of a bunch of different kind of stuff available. So it was very nice to kind of see and peruse around to see what people were doing and making. I might darken up Kaisen's hair even more, but for now, I kind of want to just add a little bit of shading. It just feels like forever since I've sketched with pencil. Like even after, probably today, after I finish editing this video, I will just go to bed and just sketch before I go to sleep. Because I kind of want to just whip out a bunch of OC drawings. The thing is, like, I've always struggled to draw Kaisen in profile, because his hair is always like a mess, because it like crisscrosses right at his, like, the bridge of his nose. I forget what we were watching. Oh, SGDQ, so like Summer Games Done Quick, is currently ongoing. And I was watching like the Pokemon speedrun of Pokemon, I think it's Violet, or like whichever, and they're playing the Teal Mask DLC. But I forgot their names, because I didn't really play the DLC, Kieran and Carmine. But their hair, or like their bangs, are actually very similar to Kaisen, where it's kind of like these two double pieces crisscrossing across the bridge of their nose. It's like he could be their long lost brother. I'm excited for Animathon, and also nervous, but I think I'll never not be nervous when it comes to tabling for anything. But I think it's like the first time I've ever had like a full-blown breakdown, mental breakdown, where I was just like sitting on the floor, because I was doing like my setup for my prints so that I could see how much I could fit, and I was just sitting there and like zoning out, and I was like having the thought of like, what if I just don't go? Like I just quit right now entirely. Because I was having a hard time trying to figure out how I wanted to display my prints. And like, do I downsize? Do I just make a catalog? Do I try to put everything up? Do I have to raise my setup to be higher to incorporate everything? I think I was just so stressed that I wanted to just be like, yep, I think I'm not going anymore. I'm just gonna quit and like deal with the repercussions later. Which would have been even worse, but just my brain working on overdrive, and the first thing I wanted to do is just stop and quit and be like, yep, I can't do it anymore. So Kaisen, kind of still want to darken up his hair even more, because Kaisen's hair is black, so it would be nice to have as much like punchy contrast. Or I should have planned a little bit of lighting. That could have made this a little bit easier as well in terms of seeing the form. But I do miss doing this. Just sketching and shading with pencil. I think because I stopped doing realism, both watercolor and like just doing graphite drawings, I don't do as much like shading like this anymore. So I do feel rusty. And I feel like I've been doing more like cross hatching and normal hatching rather than like soft shading with the pencil, where I do more like circular motions or just make sure that a lot of my lines aren't exactly visible. But I've definitely come to love more messy sketches. especially from other artists, but even like looking back at some of my old stuff, there are some sketches that I really do like what they look like in the end. So let me think. Actually, I might need to switch lead just because we're running out. And this is what happens when you keep a kneaded eraser in your pencil case. It kind of looks all like mucky. So what I like to do is take the shorter one out, put the longer one back in. Don't mind my thumbnail. I've like broken it because I was like trying to close a really hard clip or like a claw clip kind of thing to adhere to a photo booth pole, and it snapped on me and it broke my nail in such a weird way. But putting back the short lead on top of the longer lead, so now that the longer lead can push out the short one, and I can kind of use the shorter one for a little longer. So lighting wise, I guess light will be coming from up here. So let's shade this even more. I guess it will be, we'll leave some highlights up here, but we'll make this significantly darker because Kaisen has a very dark color palette. But oh boy, I can't wait until August is over, or like the beginning of August is over, because the flower zine that I want to make of my OCs and stuff, alongside with just like general flower illustrations and all that stuff that I want to plan out, I want to start on it very, very soon so I can make a art book alongside with just working on a long-term project again to pursue the goals that I wanted to do initially, so I don't have to put everything on the back burner like I did before. So sometimes for shading, I do like having the contrast of like a light and a dark immediately to give it kind of that more crisp, clean edge. Obviously this isn't the cleanest, but it's just kind of fun to do, and then let everything else kind of just fade out. Just a little bit of a harsher rim lighting. Because you can definitely keep everything soft if you wanted to. Oh, the thing I wanted to talk about. So Saturday, like I mentioned, I skipped that video because the days leading up to it, I was not able to record anything because I was doing mostly prep work. Such a long neck. But, like I said, I know a lot of you are like, oh, it's okay to like miss a day or like, you know, take a break whenever you need to. But the thing is like, because I know what kind of person I am, I will fall into probably a bad habit if I don't keep up with some sort of like schedule to keep myself more accountable in general, like consistently-ish. It just makes sure like I'm a little bit more consistent, if anything. Otherwise, I will like kind of like laze around otherwise. Because even like after the con, I wanted, or not the con, after the market, the K-pop market, all I wanted to do was draw, but I was so tired. I ended up just like browsing on my phone for a little bit, kind of like sprawled out on my bed. Every so often I would just like get up, go do something, come back, and just lay down again. Because I was just tired. But I always feel like I'm lazy if I don't like actually do anything, I guess. So you can definitely do like soft shading like this. So mechanical pencil probably isn't the best for this, kind of like doing larger areas kind of with a softer look, but you can achieve it as long as you're careful with your point of your kind of like lead of your mechanical pencil. Oh, it's gonna have his cardigan kind of howdy kind of similar fabric thing to be all the way across this way. I'll just leave it open. Forget about that. But I think Kaisen's pretty much done. And then I will just work on the one of Maseki and see where that one takes me. And I'll take note of what I like and dislike about it so I can use it for a future illustration set. So yeah, if you're in the Edmonton area in Canada, come say hi at Anime Fawn. I think it's like August 9th to the 11th. Actually, I don't know how I want to do this. Adding a little bit of shading. I don't know what I was expecting I was going to do for the background. That wasn't going to look like generic blobs. But I think this is done for Kaisen. Kind of see it. Maybe add a little bit here. My pretty boy Kaisen. Okay, so I think he's done for the most part for this sketch. Let's go ahead and do Maseki next. Okay, next is the sketch of Maseki. So, my plan is to leave... Whoops, I'm not even in frame. So my plan is for this portion where the clover is to be all white. So I am going to erase all these kind of sketchy lines, and hopefully if I shade around this, it will kind of be treated as like a gaping hole or like a bunch of negative space, and hopefully that'll lead into here. So we'll see how this goes. So I kind of kept this sketch a little bit on the smaller side because I did not know what direction I was going to take this. Let's get in his eyebrows. So I'm kind of just doing an outline. What you might consider like the line art portion, so that I can make sure my lines stand out. Any shapes or kind of like parts that might be different from my sketch, because I do like my sketch for the most part, so I don't want to stray too far away from it. But I've been juggling this idea around because I mentioned it in a previous video. I kind of wanted to do some kind of like sticker club or something. I might do it on Patreon or something. I'll keep it like very small because I want to do OC stickers and like some other themed stickers probably. It could be fun to do like a little almost like pen pal type thing. What is happening to my lead? It's like it disappeared on me. Hello? Don't tell me to swap pencils. What's happening? Let's check if I can get this open. I feel like I can feel it gripping something though. Where is the lead? Isn't it like crushing itself? I guess I'll just have to poke a new one through. So let's put this back on. Ah, what the heck? This has to be like a sign or something. It comes out after I grab a new piece? Are you kidding me? So, the thing is, like, I don't want a harsh outline around the whole thing. So I want to make sure that the gap I'm going to leave around everything is going to be similar value to whatever is surrounding it, if that makes sense. Because like his apron would be a little bit on the darker side. So I'll make it a little bit darker. I should also finish his hair. I'll leave a song recommendation in the description, by the way. I found this artist recently just because I was listening to Hibati, I think. Is it Hibati Mana? From Nijisan DJP. And he did a beautiful cover of this song. So when I checked out the artist, I actually really liked their voice, so I decided to look up more of their songs. It does like give me a slight bump of chicken kind of vibe in terms of the vocalist. And I love Bump of Chicken. I love their music so much. So I don't know how dark I'm placing some of these values. The glare is kind of bad. Which is why like I usually like using natural light if I can, if I'm working on in my sketchbook. But I'm working in the wee hours of the night, so we have my artificial, lovely little lamp that's providing me some strong lighting. So Masaki, let's see. Let's make this his apron, so make it significantly darker. But this portion will be mostly in shadow, because I think I want the top left to be the light source. Yeah, I want the top left to be the light source. It's just the most typical placement I put it by default. So hopefully this works out. I will try my best to clean up the clover so that it's kind of nice and bright. So my plan is like, for each of my OCs, I kind of want this like cutout or a giant like white gap in the illustration of a flower that represents them. Kind of like a silhouette. I think it'll look super pretty. And I feel like white would have enough contrast against all of my OC's color palettes. So it should work out okay. Maybe Sato's might be a little bit difficult, but I think I can make it work. Make this darker as well. I can still see like a slight outline. I'll try to phase it out a little bit. Yeah, it definitely made his like sweater a little bit too dark. It's okay. We'll just kind of push the apron even a little bit more. Look at his hands in here. And it doesn't help that Onitra Masaki, because of his like where his sleeve starts and stops, because he kind of like rolls it upwards. Let's place it a little bit in an awkward position sometimes. Let's do this hand. I guess our apron will come down past here. I really can't see because of the glare. So I think that's partially the reason why this came out a little bit darker. I definitely will have to do a lot of trial runs or practice runs when I'm doing commission samples. I might do it on my OCs, or unfortunately, fan art does grab a little bit more attention, so maybe I'll do fan art. So because this is like supposed to be a white void, there's not going to be any shadows underneath the hand portions. So my plan was to have him kind of in a field of clovers or something. I do apologize that I'm holding my sketchbook now rather than leaving it on the desk. So it might be a little bit more shaky and slightly out of focus. But definitely next week we'll do samples, because that'll give me ample amount of time to kind of fuss with how I want to approach some of the commissions. It'll be kind of cute. I know the clovers are going to look a little funky because they're not like this shape, I guess. Like slightly more flat. Versus like if they're facing like completely up straight. Like this way. Because otherwise we would keep getting like really kind of squat looking clovers. Okay, and then instead of swiping across to kind of get rid of our little shavings right here, I'm just gonna use the kneaded eraser to kind of pick them up. I think that's it for today's little session, because I was a little bit too tired to even think of what I wanted to do for today's session, but because I did have these little doodles here, I that was kind of cute just to play around and finish them up a little bit. So here's Masaking Kaisen. Today is June 30th. Unfortunately. Did not finish the sketchbook in May. That's fine. Okay. So here are the sketches. Like I said, Kaisen's neck is a little bit too long. I wish it was a little bit shorter, but it's okay. But I do like how these turned out. It was just kind of fun to spiffy them up and kind of just shade for the most part. But they kind of look a little bit more like finished sketches. Here and there, there's still like some sketchier lines for the most part. Masaki's a little bit cleaner, but yeah, I had a little bit of fun just doing a little bit of sketching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's little sketch session as well. I'm probably going to sketch for the rest of the night, probably after I finish editing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Probably on Wednesday. If not, I might have a bonus video on Tuesday and or Thursday. We'll see. Or Friday. We'll see. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys then. So, bye!